Boom. What is good? What's happening, everybody? It's your boy, Ferris Muthana, and welcome to another live edition of Good Friends, Better Rivals. I am not alone. I'm never alone. I got my right-hand man with me. Caleb, how are you, my man?
I'm great, man. I'm getting excited. It's getting closer and closer to football season, so I'm ready to do this, man.
I can't wait till I hear that Hard Knocks theme. No,
I mean, you really still excited for that?
just a song. Song's
Okay,
great. Like the theme's
sure.
great. The show, not so much, but the song. When you hear the theme, you're like, yeah, it's football. Then you start watching the episode, and you're like, oh, football. Yeah. I don't need to know that Aaron Rodgers smokes crack. You know what I mean? I don't need to know that. You know.
And he smokes crack.
I don't know. That was a joke. Probably like ayahuasca or some type of mushroom psychedelic. You know what I mean? Whatever. Just screw Aaron Rodgers. We're not talking about the Aaron Rodgers right now. We're talking about we both are in the same scenario. Like you saw the thumbnail, tags, and tags. Monday was the deadline for deals to get done for franchise tag people. The main three culprits, not culprits, the main three people that were most impacted by that were Dallas's running back Tony Pollard, New York Giants running back Saquon Barkley, and Oakland Las Vegas Raider running back Josh Jacobs. All three of them have something in common. They're all running backs. They're all tagged by their respective teams, and they all didn't get deals done at all. There was a report that Josh Jacobs was actually sitting in the parking lot waiting for the deal to get done. I don't know if that's true or not. Allegedly that happened, but that's crazy to hear, Caleb.
Yeah.
That's crazy to hear. And it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Caleb, my bad. Go ahead.
You can go ahead.
No. You're about to say something. I already talked. Go.
No, as far as Josh Jacobs, like that was most one of the crazier ones, considering they don't really have anything else. Like even more than the Giants don't have anything. I mean, they really don't have anything but him. For them to not get anything done is crazy to me, because they don't even know if they have their quarterback right now, dealing with some injuries, and so for him to still not have a deal. I mean, this running back situation, they're just not willing to. The team's the same. They're not willing to pay him what they want to get paid, and they just have a set number amount that they think they're valued at.
Yeah, man. And you know what? There was a lot of talk around the Giants sphere where it was like, hey, yo, Daniel Jones cost Saquon Barkley money. He didn't. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. You have a lot of money for certain teams, certain positions, and and QBs is a weird position because good to great QBs you can win with. They're very sparse. People. It's very. If you can find a QB, you can win games with or win with, you keep them. So it's kind of a weird position because, like what's more egregious, Caleb, is that Raiders one where like they paid this quarterback who's legitimately always hurt. Yeah. He's always hurt. Literally, he's always hurt. And then they find out he was hurt again when they signed him to that deal. Now he's gonna have like arthroscopic shoulder surgery or something. And he's gonna be out for like a couple months. And your bell cow, Josh Jacobs has been good since the day he stepped foot in Raiders silver and black. He had only one season where he wasn't an 1,000 yards rusher. He had 952 yards, I believe. It was almost 1,000 yards. He had like 900. And he showed you, like, give me the ball. Last season, their QB situation was not settled. It was restless. They didn't like Derek Carr. They benched him for Jarrett Stidham. But there was one constant in the team, and that was Josh Jacobs. And Matt Miller got a lot of flack for tweeting this out, but he's correct. Shout out to Adelia. Shout out to Brodney. But he's correct, Caleb. Correct me if I'm wrong. He said this: draft a talented running back in the first round. You know, pick up his fifth-year option if he's good. You know, draft the running back. If he's great, play the running back. If he's still great, pick up the fifth-year option. You don't get a deal done at the fifth-year option that you don't like, franchise tag him again, draft another running back.
Yeah. I mean, that's what they did. I mean, they did franchise tag him. So
yeah, that's what they did.
Obviously, these running backs, well, at least Jacobs and Barkley are not happy about that.
Nope.
Getting franchised. But the franchise does give them a lot of money. I mean, they are getting paid. Their top backs getting paid, so they are getting paid at least for this year. They just not getting
fully
paid
guaranteed deal.
Mm-hmm. You know, that's really just the thing. They're just saying we want to get paid more, but they are getting paid. So everybody said the running backs are not valued or getting paid, but they are. They did get their franchise tag, and the franchise tag is paying them. They're just not getting what they want.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people are saying, Caleb, like, oh, the last couple running back deals that have kind of backfired is the reason the market isn't as good as it is right now. Like, like Le'Veon Bell, Todd Gurley, they bring up those contracts, right, Caleb? But I believe that's as an incorrect assessment because how many QB contracts that have been absolute garbage in the market that haven't destroyed the QB market? It's because I think I don't know who said this, but I think someone said this, and I don't remember who said it, but they said back in the day, the premium position in the NFL, before they became this air raid, just shoot them up, 300 yards passing in a game doesn't mean nothing because I expect you to throw 300 yards with the rules helping you. The positions you wanted to play, the man of the team was the running back. Every generation you had that player, you put your best player at quarterback and running back. Your two best athletes on Pop Warner, Caleb, correct me if I'm wrong. Pop Warner, your best players on offense, where were they always? QB, running back, right? Well, hand it off, outrun everybody.
Yeah, it was mostly running back. I mean, we didn't pass a lot back then.
Yeah, the wing T, you're right. Yeah, you're right. But it was exactly, but you said it was running back. Everyone played running back. The best player on the field played running back. And for years, you played running back because you ended up getting paid. But then it started realizing so many people are playing running back. You can find, and then you started finding gems in the 5th round, in the 4th round, in the 6th round. Isaiah Pacheco in the 7th round. You see finding these serviceable running backs who fit your scheme, who work, who can run, because there's so many running backs out there. That's why the market is depreciated, is that supply and demand. This is what I don't believe this, but this is what they see. There's so many good running backs, I don't need to pay you. I think you do because you want a great running back. And Saquon Barkley, Josh Jacobs, they're great running backs. And Saquon Barkley, he literally capped himself in his interviews publicly where he said, I'm not trying to reset the market.
You need a great running back if you don't have a great quarterback. You need something great. Mm-hmm. I mean, I don't think the Chiefs need a great running back. The Chiefs have Patrick Mahomes. But you just got to look at your team. What in your team do you need great? What positions do you need certain positions that you need to be great? Mm-hmm. So I don't necessarily think that's true for every team.
You're right. If you have an alien and a quarterback, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, do you need a running back really? Not really. It's someone who can give you 1,000 yards rushing is cool, but like like Isaiah Pacheco is not a good thing to talk about because I'm like, bro, any running back that's serviceable behind Patrick Mahomes is gonna look good because the main goal is to stop Patrick Mahomes. Same thing with Lamar Jackson in Baltimore. The main objective is to stop number 8. Stop number 15. J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards look great behind Lamar Jackson because no one's really caring about them. Like here's the thing about the Giants, Baltimore Ravens game that happened last year. Kenyon Drake had like 150 yards rushing, but the goal was to stop number 8. We didn't care if Kenyon Drake had 100 yards. The goal was 8. You stopped 8. That's what it was. Also, to our run defense was absolutely atrocious, but stopping 8 was the key. Like, that's the thing. But if you don't have 8 or 15 as your quarterback, you need someone to help your quarterback, and that's his backfield mate. And Saquon, Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey was the reason the Niners went on their long run, because people would think it was Brock Purdy. No, it wasn't, because the run started when Jimmy Garoppolo got there. So Jimmy was starting, Christian McCaffrey was there, they were winning. Then Garoppolo breaks his foot against Miami, and then they just keep going. But the thing that made the Niners feel good was number 23 in Christian McCaffrey. He's the reason. And I don't like. Saquon Barkley capped himself. He said, "I'm not trying to reset the market." So if the deal was they offered him 16 a year, that's the market. Christian McCaffrey, that's the market. 16. He's the highest paid. That's the cap. 16 right there. He says in an interview, he said he went to talk to John Mara. Mara and him talked. They found a reasonable number to agree on, and they agreed on a number, and he walked out and he said the deal was going to be done. And then the deal wasn't done because something happened. And people are blaming his agent, like, his agent fumbled. If the player and the owner agreed on a deal, 9 times out of 10, the agent says, fine, if you want that deal, we'll give you that deal. And if that doesn't happen, you tend to fire the agent, and then you get that deal. It happens all the time. Like, I don't think the agent really messed this up, because I think Joe Shane said, you agreed a number with John Mara. That's cool for you, bro. I don't agree to that number. You agreed with him, but I don't agree with that. I'm not giving you that. I think that's what happened. Joe Shane was like, I'm putting a line in the sand. I'm not going past this number. And if you want to agree to a number with basically my boss, I'm not listening to that conversation. That conversation means nothing to me. Because if the player and the owner agreed to a number that was reasonable, the deal is done. The agent can't really do much. Like, the agent can't do much, really, Caleb. Can the agent be like, no, you're not allowed to sign that deal? You're fired.
Well, he's probably suggesting that he doesn't session hard that, or trying to tell him something to influence that decision, because he wants to get paid more as bigger contract, more money for him.
Yeah, but you can do that. But then, like I saw this hockey dude, his name was Vladimir Tarasenko. He's like, he's really important. He wanted a deal done with the Rangers hockey team. The agent said, no, we have a better deal in Carolina. You know what Vladimir did? He fired the agent. And he said, bye. You fired the agent. Saquon didn't fire this agent. He added another agent, which was his CAA, which is his off the field representatives. And they're not fired yet. So that means they did their job and said, my client wants this. I don't want to get fired. Fine. The client wants this. This is what the client wants. And I think Joe Shane said, I don't care what your client said to the owner. I don't care what he said. This is the line. This is where I'm going. I'm not giving you 16 million. Because Joe Shane can throw back in Saquon's face in your public interviews, where you gave public interviews on the record. You said you're not trying to reset the market. If Saquon Barkley was out like asking for like 18, 17, then you can say like you can use that in negotiation, where you're like, you lied on the record. I'm using your words against you. But if that didn't happen, in a perfect world, that didn't happen. He said, I'm not trying to reset the market, and I mean it. 16 was the max. And Joe Shane was probably like, I don't want to give you 16. You're 24 years old. You tore your ACL. And I think my head coach doesn't really care about running backs. So why should I pay you? Because, Brian Daboll in Buffalo, Caleb, who were the running backs?
I don't remember.
There's my point. Devin Singletary. It was Devin Singletary and some random other, probably Matt Breida. It was Breida and Singletary. So Brian Daboll basically said, yeah, running back's cool, whatever. I like Saquon, but my scheme doesn't really need a running back. I'll just, sign 25 wide receivers. Just like today, we signed Cole Beasley. They did struggle but they didn't care. If they cared, they would have signed a good running back. but
They were still
they
winning
never
games.
they were
I
winning
don't know.
games.
Struggling. They were still winning games.
Yeah, they were still winning games. They just struggled against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
And Lamar Jackson. And then they also beat Lamar Jackson too. And they tried to beat Patrick Mahomes and it didn't happen. But they were winning games without a run game. So that's what it is. That's my take. Caleb, your take on the Tony Pollard situation in Dallas?
Oh, we were never going to sign Tony Pollard for a long-term deal. That was that I don't even think that was in question for that. That's why he was okay. Like Tony Pollard knows the deal. Like he's getting paid for this year, and that's good for him. And he's going to show what he's got. And the next year he'll be a free agent. And he'll be able to sign anywhere he likes, and it's probably not going to be in Dallas. Like I said, I would have cut him before this season and drafted somebody else. But hey, we got him for another year, and getting off that injury, and that's another thing. With the injury, I think he just knew the deal that he needs to get back. He just needs to get back and show everybody that he still got it, and then he'll probably get paid. I don't know how much next year, but he'll at least get a pretty good contract if he shows up and does what he needs to do this year.
Brandon, you're correct. And the Ravens won games without wide receivers. These are teams that are trying to win championships. I agree with you. They're trying to win championships. They're trying to win championships, but I think Buffalo thought they could win a championship without a run game. I think they probably.
I think they could. I mean, they were close. I mean, they a few mistakes here and there.
A couple of seconds, literally seconds.
Yeah.
If they didn't play prevent defense, they could have probably won. But and like, let's be real, man. Some of these coaches, man, they think they're really smart. So like, let me outthink people. You know what I mean? Let me try something different. Like, so yeah. It is what it is. Yeah. Pretty much, man. The any other news coming out?
Yeah. They
have. Tony says they've regressed since then. Yeah, because Brian Daboll's not there.
Yeah.
Brian Daboll's not there. Brian Daboll's not there. They went out and got a running back this year. Who'd they get? They get James Cook. They got James Cook last year. I know that. But who else did the Buffalo get?
I don't even know that.
Yeah. But anything else, Caleb, on the?
Yeah. Just when there's not a lot of news going into training camp, then the bunch of stuff comes out. Well, maybe not bunch, but there's some stuff has come out on the Cowboys front. And Damien Harris. I mean, that's not. I mean, okay, that's a significant running back. But Zach Martin wants a new contract. He signed when he first signed this contract, but he's upset that he's not being paid as a top guard. I mean, he is the best guard in the league.
Damien Harris. There's Damien Harris. They signed Damien Harris.
Yes. Yeah.
And Tony meant Buffalo as a team, not just an offense. No, I agree with you, man. That's because I think Sean McDermott's I think that loss crushed morale and confidence in Sean McDermott. I think it did. Because Leslie Frazier came on and said, I didn't call those defensive plays. That wasn't me. He said on the record, he said, I didn't call the last court. Like he basically said that's Sean McDermott's fault. Oh, he is. Yes, I agree with you. Damien Harris is better than the running backs they had. But we'll see if they change their philosophy. Because the philosophy, okay, but Zach Martin, he wants to be paid like the top guard he is, and he's mad that other guards are getting paid more than him. Go.
Yeah, obviously, the Atlanta Falcons guard Lindstrom, he's getting paid $20.5 million. Zach's getting paid $13.5 million this season. But when he signed the deal, when he first signed his deal, he was the highest paid guard.
He was.
So I mean, I don't know if he just assumes that you just get paid like anytime you want. I mean, he still has 2 years left on his deal. I guess he just all of a sudden decides like, yeah, no, I want to. This year is the year I want to be paid as the top guard again. I don't know. I think I can't really blame the Cowboys on this one. I think they gave him what he wanted to begin with. I mean, they gave him the length for 6 years. They gave him the money to be the top guard. This is just kind of on Zach. I mean, this is his decision. he wants to get paid his highest. I mean, I can't really, but I mean, sometimes you always want to play the team and say, oh, they're not paying him enough. I mean, I think the Cowboys gave him what he wanted to begin with, and yeah, he's just not happy right now. It's gonna be suck going into training camp without him. I think offensive lines need cohesion as a group, but individually, he's gonna be fine. Like it doesn't matter when he comes back. I mean, he's gonna be Zach Martin. That's just the way he is. And this is why we can't sign guys like Tony Pollard, as stuff like this comes up and we have to pay all these other guys. I mean, he's been paid a lot, but he has a 6-year deal, which kind of helps out the cap because they kind of restructure that stuff, and because of his length in his contract, and they've been switching that around somewhat. But he wants to be top guard again, so we'll see what happens. Hopefully, he just comes back on his own, but I don't know anything can happen with that. And for more contract talks, Des Bryant comes out. He tweets. He's coming out and saying he's been talking with Trayvon Diggs, and during their contract talks, Diggs saying that they're not being fair with him. He quoted saying Diggs is not trying to knock them across the head with his contract, but he's playing on his final year of his deal. He was a second-round pick, so there's no fifth-year option.
Yep.
CD was first round, and he's got that fifth year. So now with both Diggs and Martin now, so it's getting the line's getting long for who's getting paid for the Cowboys. And you got CD coming, you got Michael coming, you got Dak coming. There's a lot of people to pay, and
you prioritize, Caleb.
I guess
you prioritize 11, right? He's number one.
Yeah, he's the priority, but he's still got 2 years. He's only played 2 years, so he's got 2 years left. But he might want to get paid early though. Just as Zeke wanted to get paid early. All these guys kind of coming all together. That's why it's kind of hard to say who's going to get paid first. Maybe he's a candidate for a franchise tag next year if they can't get a deal done. That's Trayvon Diggs, because they, like I said, they might want to sign CD early, and they might want to sign Mike early because they know those contracts are going to be like extremely large, considering their position which is receiver and pass rusher. And Michael probably will be the top defensive player probably ever paid ever. So that's kind of all the thinking that Cowboys the Cowboys have to think about of like who they're gonna pay, because they know that contract is coming. They know that's gonna be a huge hit on the cap. When
probably over 100, 110, 20 probably. Maybe. Yeah, somewhere around that. So they got basically kind of got to organize their money for that 2 year. The process for his contract started now. It's now, because if it didn't start now, they would have already paid Trayvon Diggs. I think they would have already paid him, and they were probably already given Zach Martin his deal. But they're like, we need to fix money for 11 now, because his contract is going to take a lot from us. So to Trayvon Diggs, they could still do the deal, because let's be real, the cap is there, but it's not there. They can maneuver money around, shift money around, convert stuff to signing bonuses. It happens all the Saints have been in cap hell for years, and people say, oh, they can't re-sign everybody, but they re-sign everybody they want. And they always say, oh, they lost Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. It's because they didn't want to re-sign Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Not because the cap said they couldn't sign Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. They just didn't want to re-sign him. They had enough money for Marshawn Lattimore. They found money for him. They found money for Michael Thomas. They found money for Alvin Kamara. They found money for their guards and Andres Pete and Ryan Ramczyk. DeMario Davis. They found money for DeMario Davis.
They also don't have a big contract quarterback.
Yeah, that's right. You're right about that. but money's money. But all the other
But
big
that's what I'm
contracts.
saying. That money that would have been to, like, say, if they had one of the top paid quarterback, then maybe they don't have that money for all these other guys.
But also too, if you have a big contract quarterback, you can survive without all the other guys not there.
Well, that's why they paid those guys. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying. It's like an either or thing. You either pay the hefty price on the quarterback.
It's like the Chiefs.
On
It's like the
on the
Chiefs.
guys around him.
The Chiefs allowed Frank Clark to walk. They could have signed Frank Clark, but they're like, we don't really need you. We got 15. 15 can keep us in games whenever, so we don't really need Frank Clark. Same, like that's what like with Patrick Mahomes, he's people need to stop using his team as an example, because they're outliers, because 15 covers so many sins. It's insane. But the only sin he couldn't cover was the offensive line, but every other sin can be covered. Every other sin can be covered by 15. But if you don't have 15, you need to pay the positions that need to be paid. Like who are the Chiefs cornerbacks that you're scared of? Yeah,
now they do. I'm saying when they signed all those guys, when they had Jameis Winston and Dalton, that's what I'm saying. They were able to sign those guys.
That's true.
When they didn't have Drew Brees anymore on the books.
Exactly. There's only one team that got Patrick Mahomes. So stop using the Chiefs as an example. They're not a good example because they're an outlier. Him and Lamar Jackson can hide sins. They're sin hiders. Lamar Jackson was winning games with random dudes off of the street at wide receiver, and he went 14-2 and won an MVP. They hide sins. Not every quarterback can hide a sin. A sin will bite you in the ass. The only sin great quarterbacks can't hide are offensive line problems. That's the only sin they can't hide. Every other sin can be hidden. Yeah, but they are fitting underneath all the cap, though. That's the point. Now, because they converted their money under the cap so they could sign Derek Carr. See, the cap ain't real, guys. So stop believing people on Twitter that say the cap is real. It ain't real. When Warren Sharp comes out and says the cap is real, no, it's not. It's not. It's not real. You just need to convert certain money to certain bonuses, and you need like the cap is there as a threat to owners so they don't spend $1 billion on their team. But they'll find a way to pay you. You will get that deal. It's if they want you or not. If they want you, you're gonna get your money. If the Dallas Cowboys want Trayvon Diggs, he's gonna get his money. But this is feeling like they don't really want him.
I would, like I said, I think they always want him. If Jerry, but you say cap isn't real, then if the cap isn't real, then Jerry would sign everybody because Jerry likes all of his guys.
Yeah, but that's what he literally does. All his guys are always signed. He signs all his guys.
Not necessarily. I mean, we have to let go some guys.
Like who?
We let go Zeke. You think Jerry wanted to do that?
Because they don't want him no more.
No, Jerry wants him. What are you talking about? Jerry loves Zeke.
No, but Steven and Will McClay don't want him.
No, they don't want to pay him because they can't pay him because he's taking up too much cap. That's why I'm saying the cap is real in that sense.
No, but they also think he's not as good as he was.
They would just be okay. Then just let him be on the cap. Just let him hit the cap, and we'll just.
What if they're like he's not? We don't need him anymore. He's not that good. We're moving on.
Hey,
what if they're like we can?
Jerry would still have him on the team.
So Jerry would just like even if he wasn't good anymore, he'd still have him on the team.
Yeah, because he doesn't believe that for one.
He doesn't believe that, but the other two. Yeah. But what about the other two dudes believe that?
I don't think they believe that either. I think they still believe in him.
What could have we're speculating here. What if in those meetings, Stephen Jones and Will McClay?
Yeah, it's speculation. Yeah? You're right. It's speculation. But I mean, for every interview I've ever heard of Jerry talking about Zeke, he loves him, and if the cap wasn't real, then he would definitely be on this team.
I like ice cream cake. That don't mean I gotta have it every day. So
I mean, you probably shouldn't have it every day.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's very bad for my health. But do exactly? If they still believed in him, why haven't they brought him back? They don't have to re-sign him for the same deal. They'd be like, I ain't giving you another $90 million. It's not happening. You know,
I think they could bring him back, but I don't think he wants to come back.
and Jose has a point. There's a difference between wanting a player and wanting to pay a player. That is correct. Because I can want a bunch of players. I want Jamar Chase on the Giants. I want T. Higgins on the Giants. I want Tyreek Hill on the Giants. I can't pay all of them. They're all going to want like $100 million contracts. It also too, it's a business too. You want player, it's a business. Like how much money are the teams making compared to what they're selling on the team? Roger Goodell's his plan, Caleb, his plan, his grand vision is if all 32 NFL teams make $1 billion in revenue. He wants to make $32 billion in revenue every year. That's what he wants. He wants a $32 billion in revenue. Is it possible? I don't know. Could be. Because there's a couple of teams that make $1 billion a year. The popular brands, Giants, Denver, apparently. Like the Patriots, probably. The Niners. Not the Raiders anymore because they've fallen on hard times. But like the very prominent ones, so there's that. But is it possible? Yeah. And you can maneuver stuff. You can move stuff around. It's the great GMs who know how to do it. But they should pay Zach Martin his money, though. I agree with you on that one. Pay Zach Martin his money.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, it's going to be... Well, we don't even know who the left guard is going to be, so just figuring out who's going to go at right guard.
Yeah, because here's the thing about that. Like, I don't begrudge Zach for saying, "Hey, no offense, Chris Lindstrom ain't better than me." Okay, like, I want my money. But then if the Cowboys are like, okay, like I agree, but you still have 2 more years on your deal, so let's talk about it in 2 years or a year. You know what I mean? Like, I get that. From their point of view. Him saying I'm the best, give me 20 million, and them saying like, I understand, but you were the highest paid guard, and then now it's up to 20 million. So let's wait a couple of years, probably, and like we'll figure it out. They're probably figuring it out right now. We'll see. But on other news on the Giants front, today we signed wide receiver Cole Beasley and running back James Robinson. James Robinson, he was a running back. Out of he was he was not out of I think he was out of Jackson State. Jacksonville State. Or is it Southern Illinois? No, I think it was Southern Illinois. I apologize. Southern Illinois. He is kind of if you think about it, it's a redemption project at running back because Saquon Barkley is not gonna be in camp. We need basically another camp body. And I'm gonna be rich, man. Like I'm looking at the roster now. Let me count the receivers we have. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 15 wide receivers. People are gonna get cut. I think Bryce Ford Wheaton is gonna be put on a practice squad. I think Makai Polk is going to get cut. Khalil Pimpleton is going to get cut. David Sills is definitely going to get cut. Probably Jeff Smith probably going to get cut. And they're going to keep Jalen Hyde, of course. Isaiah Hodgins, of course. Those are locks. Paris Campbell's a lock. And then you have Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton, possible locks. And Wan'Dale Robinson's a lock. Yeah, it's like 2 or 3 basically. Wan'Dale Robinson was damn good until he showed great promise in that game, and then he tore his ACL. Very sad. It was a very sad day. I was so happy for him. But yeah, like you got 15 wide receivers. Like Jesus, sweet Mary and Joseph. Like, how many do you really need if you think about it? And then we signed James Robinson.
Throw everything you can at the position because that you guys are terrible receiving core.
Yeah. Then we have we want to talk about a terrible receiving core. So we got the running back room: Gary Brightwell, Jayshawn Corbin, Matt Breida, Eric Gray, who we drafted, and James Robinson, who is from Illinois State. That's where he's from, Illinois State. James Robinson
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
with James Robinson.
he was pretty good in Jacksonville for that 1 year.
1 year.
That, yeah, then he tore his
Good year.
ACL. And then they traded him to the Jets, and the Jets didn't play him, and then he walked, and now he's a Giant. We'll see. It doesn't move the needle. You say, oh, we signed Cole Beasley. It's a receiver who knows the system, and we signed James Robinson. So it's a receiver who knows the system and a redemption project at running back. It doesn't move the needle. They could cut Cole Beasley if they want to. They should. They don't really need him, to be honest. I don't even know why he's there. So like honestly, like it doesn't really move anything. It's meh. It's camp bodies. It doesn't. It's not like I'm not gonna hear say it's a whatever. To be honest, it's a whatever. If James Robinson if it's James Robinson from Jacksonville that year, he had like 1,400 yards. That's a dub. That's a win for the Giants in their negotiations against Saquon Barkley. But what James Robinson is going to show up? Jacksonville gave up on him real quick because they had Travis Etienne. So, and then the Jets basically said, our star running back tore his ACL. We got James Robinson, but we're not going to play James Robinson for some reason. I don't know why. It's weird. I have no idea why. Still haven't figured that out. So it's a whatever, to be honest. It's a whatever. Whatever. Caleb, any people you sign, any camp bodies that are coming into camp and training camp that we need to watch out for?
I don't think so. I mean, I haven't seen anything. I think the Cowboys are pretty set on the roster as far as now. But I do have one more story. This was going around throughout the week. They quoted Dak as saying, they first messed up the quote because they said that Dak said he wasn't going to throw 10 interceptions. That was actually a misquote because he actually said he just wasn't going to have tipped interceptions this year. And he said it was due to Mike McCarthy's impact on the receivers and that they'll know where the hell to be, they'll know why to be, and when they're going to get looked at. And that's what I was saying all last season. I was saying Kellen Moore did not know how to scheme up his receivers. He had terrible option routes where they always ended up in the same goddamn spot. And that's what was causing those tipped interceptions because there was so much goddamn traffic in the same area where he was throwing the ball. And he's saying with Mike McCarthy, that's not going to happen because he'll, like you said, the receivers will actually know where to be and know where to go. And that actually have better routes than what Kellen Moore was drawing up. And those tips interceptions are not going to happen this season because Prescott has never had an interception problem throughout his career. He's always taken care of the ball. And so going forward with Mike McCarthy, I think I don't think it'll be a problem. Like I think you go back to the way he was and, be under that, be under 10 interceptions. So I don't really see a problem going forward. I think I do like I was saying also that season, I do put a lot of it on Kellen Moore's schemes.
All right, guys. Breaking news, by the way. Breaking news. We do have a page from Kellen Moore's playbook of the Dallas team. We have it coming in through producer. There it is. There's Kellen Moore's playbook. We saw it right there. There it is. There it is. All right. What a tremendous game. But before we insult Kellen Moore a little bit more, guys, I want to make sure everyone subscribes to the channel. We're at 104 subscribers. Let's get it to 110, or 105. So let's keep moving on up on the subscriber list, as well as hit that notification bell to get all our notifications on when the videos drop. We have some pre-recorded stuff. We have some live stuff. So hit that notification bell to get all our stuff, as well as today we have two major shows after this. 6 o'clock is our watch along of U.S. versus Vietnam, the FIFA Women's World Cup on our Twitch channel. So make sure to go to there. Let me bring up the Twitch. Don't have it right now. It's twitch.tv/LGR network. LGR network. Or LGR network on twitch.tv.com. As well as at 8 o'clock on our entertainment channel. It is episode 2 of The Open Table. We have a special guest. We invited people to the dinner party. It's a dinner party theme. We'll dress up, have some fun. You'll see me with a suit, probably a tie. So there's that. It is our special guest this week, our Nerd Chronic and Video Drew. They'll be teaching me who Grimace is, and apparently the whole cornucopia of McDonald's characters not named Ronald McDonald. I did not know these people existed. So there's that. Without further ado, yep, that's it. Caleb. Kellen, do you want to take the bet? I'll give you Dak Prescott 10.5 interceptions.
Oh, that's an under.
That's a big under. It's a big under. All right, let's okay, new bet. 8.5.
It's probably right at 8. It's probably right at 8.
Twitch.tv/LG_network. Right at 8. So you're gonna go the under on the 8.5.
Yeah.
All right. Book that. Book that, everybody. PFF told me he's one of the top OCs in the league. Caleb, what was PPF wrong? What's going on?
Yes. I don't understand. A lot of where this narrative came that he was such a great coordinator. Like, I am baffled by so many people that have that opinion of Kellen Moore, like he's some great genius. Like, where did you get that from? What have you been looking at? Like, that is totally not the case. Like, a lot of the losses in the playoffs because he wasn't he just wasn't scheming it up right. And I'm not taking not taking all the blame off of Dak because Dak needed to play better. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying like a big part of it and some of the key games that we had, he was calling garbage. Like, he was just calling garbage plays, and you could see it. If you go back and watch film, you can see it easily.
Yes, Brodney, what do you want from me? Like, I'm sorry. Brodney says, what college the number 3 corner from the 1986 Bears went to, but you don't know who the Hamburglar is? Sorry. No, a Hamburglar. I've heard of it, the Hamburglar, but apparently there's more.
What does he look like? What's he look like?
So he's wearing black and white stripes, got a mask over his head, like a Zorro mask and like a hat. Like, I know who the Hamburglar is, but apparently there's like a land that has Grimace, and there's a couple of burger heads, and there's other people. I thought it was just Ronald McDonald fighting the Hamburglar. That's it. Like, that's the only. But apparently there's more characters. Did you know this?
Yes. It's very common knowledge, Ferris.
No, stop saying it was common knowledge. Stop people guys stop saying that, man. I didn't know, man. I didn't know.
You don't know Mayor McCheese?
No, I don't know who Mayor McCheese is. I'm about to find out today. You say that with so much confidence. You know who Mayor McCheese is? No, mother lover, I don't know who Mayor McCheese is. Why is he a mayor? There's a town?
Yeah, he's the mayor.
Oh my God. This is going to be an interesting show at 8 o'clock on our entertainment channel. 8 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern. Mayor McCheese. Gonna say that to me like I'm supposed to know who that is.
You absolutely are.
You know what? On that note, Caleb, where can people find you, my man?
You can find me at NFL Caleb 22 on Instagram and Twitter. And you can find me at the Dallas Cowboys training camp next weekend, because that's where I'll be. Maybe during this show, I'll be in Oxnard, California.
All right, guys. I'm Ferris Muthana. Whatever, Brodney. Just get out of here. I'm Ferris Muthana. You can find me at Ferris Muthana on Twitter. You can find me here every Friday, 3 o'clock, live. Good friends, better rivals. Like I said, guys, today, 6 o'clock Pacific, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern, U.S. versus Vietnam watch long on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/LGR_network. So bam, there it is. Me, Rob, possibly Rob, and definitely Adelia. We're going to be watching the game. Is the U.S.'s opening game of the FIFA Women's World Cup. We are looking for a three-peat. It's a three-peat and looking for our 5th world title. 5th world title and a three-peat. And no one has ever three-peated at the FIFA World Cup ever. Men or women. No one's ever three-peated. So the American women looking to make history this year around, as well as 8 o'clock Pacific, 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern, the open table with our guest Video Drew and Eric, Nerd Chronic, me and Adelia, we bring you our dinner party. The open table. Come up dressed. No Rob, just me and Adelia. It's gonna be me and Adelia. So there's that. Guys, come up dressed, have some fancy dinner, drink some lemonade while Eric, Drew, and Adelia educate me on who Grimace and Mayor McCheese is. But on that note, everyone, thank you guys so much for joining us. See y'all next time. Stay safe.